It's time to cover the most advanced of the advanced footwork in combat sports. Tricks that you can use to link different types of footwork together. It requires insane athleticism and the rapid manipulation of your momentum to pull a lot of these off. They're tough and dangerous. But if you can get them down, you'll be able to stay quite literally one step ahead. Able to blend two different movements together to save time, rapidly change directions, and cover massive distance. The point of this breakdown is not to create a complete list of transitory footwork, but to showcase some fun and entertaining examples that can get you thinking about how to put more emphasis on your transitionary footwork. Many of these examples break all the rules of their respective sports, and as such, you're not likely to see them taught in a gym. If that bothers you, or if you feel you don't have the necessary athleticism to pull these movements off yet, that's fine. Just try and take the lessons behind them to heart, and maybe come up with some simpler ideas that will work for you. I'll be moving through advanced tactics at a pretty fast pace here, so if you'd like more detail or clarification, check out the individual breakdowns of the fighters mentioned, or watch the extensive footwork breakdowns released within the last several months. Let's get to it. First, there's the combination of a shuffle and a pivot, and if you build up enough momentum, this can become one fluid motion where both feet leave the ground. Lomachenko was a master of this. The trick is to start pivoting on your lead foot the moment the shuffle begins, and this way you could not only cover distance, but you could rapidly change the angle of attack. Here's an even more advanced version that Lomachenko pulled off while sparring UFC champion TJ Dillashaw. Lomachenko switch shifts from southpaw to orthodox, then pivot shuffles to create an angle, landing a body shot. And here's Mr. Low Kick Rob Kaman, chaining the shuffle pivot into a lead leg roundhouse, covering enough distance to target his opponent's rear leg. But Tyson went a step further with this principle by simply jumping into it in one go, which allowed him to quickly evade attacks while changing his position so he could counter from an unexpected angle. This movement requires a lot of effort, and you'll likely need to start off by leaning to one side, similar to some gymnastics movements. It's the momentum generated by the movement of the upper body, blending nicely into head movement in this instance, that allows for a smooth transition. Speaking of Tyson, if the opponent was fleeing, Tyson would use a combination of a shuffle hook, sometimes called a gazelle hook, and a turn shift. A turn shift is where your opponent goes to circle away, and rather than circle with them, you just change into another stance. While this temporarily leaves you a little bit more open to attacks, it also allows you the ability to attack immediately without needing to adjust your stance. So Tyson would shuffle into his hook while bringing his rear foot forward during the movement, ending up in southpaw, from which he could better cut off the ring and use follow-up shots. To get this down, just do a gazelle hook, but don't turn too much into it. Instead, stay squared up and bring your back leg a little bit more forward and to the right. Up next are rebound steps, and the crazy things you can do with them. Think of rebounding like jumping across rocks in a pond, pushing off with your foot from rock to rock. Rather than take 2 steps in one direction as is usual, the fighter will take 1 step, then push off in a totally different direction. This shortcut is tiring, but can allow a fighter like Manny Pacquiao to change directions twice as fast. And by changing directions on the half beat, the normal 2-step movement being a whole beat, Manny took fighters by complete surprise. Next is the tactic that inspired this breakdown, since you all seem to like it so much. Rod Tang's kick retraction into a split step to cover distance. A split step is a rapid widening of the stance by jumping both feet apart. It's a very surprising and explosive movement. Here Rod Tang split step off the retraction of his roundhouse, gaining more distance and changing the angle for his left hook. But there are a number of different attacks you could split step off of. You could even split step off of different pieces of footwork. Here's Tawanchai surprising his competition by split stepping halfway through a lead cross step into a knockout roundhouse. In this way, his attack arrives earlier than his opponent thinks is possible. That's why these advanced transitions are so powerful. They're not only shortcuts because they could cover more distance, they're also shortcuts because they could literally cut down on the time it takes for your attack to reach your competitor. You can also rebound off split steps. Tough on the ankles, but it can definitely pay off. Lastly, here's footwork master Rob Kamen, fully retracting his kick. Then split stepping, essentially switch shifting into a new stance from southpaw to orthodox, to line up an angle for his cross over his opponent's shoulder. It normally would have taken several different steps and movements to get into the position to exploit the vulnerability. But with this shortcut, he's able to get there in one fluid movement. Up next are hops, where a fighter steps, then jumps off that same foot. Al Lee and pound-for-pound GOAT Sugar Ray Robinson did this to extend the length of their jab and circle the ring faster. Al Lee's footwork was admittedly an adaptation or an imitation of his hero Sugar Ray Robinson. It's my guess that Robinson got this move from his love of dance. He even had a dance career afterwards. For a far more practical and easy to utilize version, I would check out the great Jersey Joe Walcott. Al Lee may have been more fluid, but considering Jersey Joe's much larger frame, his incredible footwork is equally impressive. Hops can be equally great for adding distance to kicks. By swinging and turning your hips forward, you can add even more distance. Pac-Man even used it to cover more distance with his cross, and would pivot as he hopped and after landing on his lead foot. That's a lot of shortcuts, but he was coordinated enough to pull it off. Next is the Pendulum Shuffle. When a fighter looks to cover a lot of distance before a lead leg kick, they usually have to shuffle into it. But if they're gifted enough, they can lift their lead leg first, then swing their rear hips up to hop off the back leg. This is less telegraphic and covers a whole lot of distance. Lastly, we have an add-on to GSP's Superman Punch footwork. Raising one leg, then hopping onto the other, he would then shuffle to land a lead leg roundhouse. Super athletic, and so strange and creative, I don't understand how he ever thought to do it. The takeaway from all these examples should be that with enough creativity, experience, and athleticism, there's almost no limit to what you can do. Just please, get some experience under your belt and know what you're doing first. The world is full of beginners who try to imitate Al Lee the first time in the gym. And if that was you, you know it doesn't always end well. Let us know if there's anything that wasn't mentioned, any other breakdowns you'd like to see, or just anything on your mind, really. From the Modern Martial Artist, this has been David Christian, wishing you happy training.